I would just like to thank the National Pharmacy Conference for inviting us ordinary criminals here today. One of the reasons that I'm standing in front of you today is that and by I mean myself and my partner Julian, who's over there being my media officer today. We, in case you didn't know, we are known as the Dagga couple. And we also speak for the millions of South Africans who use, trade and cultivate cannabis. There are millions of us, and I'm standing before you today because of my use of illegal drugs. Between Julian and myself, we have over 70 years of daily cannabis consumption between the two of us. I smoke Dagga every day. But the fact is that we don't think that the state has the right to interfere in decisions that we take about how we feel and how we think and what substances we use to influence this, as long as we are not harming ourselves or harming our fellow citizens or harming the planet. This is a victimless crime, and as the introduction said, we were so indignant at our treatment at the hands of the police in 2010 that we sued the government. Now, I'd just like to know, as we look at these beautiful, beautiful fields of cannabis, I'd just like to remind everybody here that this is not a field of plutonium. This is a field of cannabis, an amazing, amazing plant. So I'd just like to give an indication. I need to know my audience. How many people in this audience do not or have never used cannabis?
Whoa!
Feel as if we're reaching to the choir. So I'm very pleased to be informing you of some of the work that we do. Obviously, I can't go into everything today, it's just a short presentation, but I'll try and cover as much as I possibly can. So it was our intersection with the criminal justice system that led us to sue the 7 government departments, and this resulted in what became known as the trial of the plant. It was brought before the Pretoria High Court in 2017, and unfortunately the government and Doctors for Life filibustered us out of court after 14 court days, and we ran out of time. So the trial of the plant is now what they call in legal terms part heard, and it has been put on hold pending the publication and the passing of a new cannabis bill in South Africa. And we were given the advice by Judge Edwaba in the Pretoria High Court to put our case on hold and see what the government come up with. And I promise you, we've got a gun to the government's head.
If they do not give us evidence-based, constitutionally sound regulations, then we'll just go straight back to court. But please, if there's any government people here today, just give us evidence-based, constitutionally sound regulations, because Julian and I would like to retire. Thank you very much. So now, more famously, in September 2018, this was a slide from outside of the Pretoria High Court, where we had all of those people who hate us, horrible, smelly Dagga smokers, protesting outside, paid for by the Department of Social Development, bus in from rehabs across the country, from as far afield as KZN, to protest against the illegal regulation of cannabis. Anyway, then things progressed legally, and this was a very, very proud moment for us. So the Western Cape High Court privacy judgment was heard in the Constitutional Court, and eventually the judgment was handed down in September 2018. As Fields of Green for All and as individuals, we intervened in the Western Cape case, so we became co-plaintiffs with Jeremy Acton and Gareth Prince, and together the four of us managed to achieve what has become known as the privacy judgment. And I'm sure that most people know what that privacy judgment entails. This is us outside the court with our legal team. We absolutely love our advocate Don Mahan and our legal team from Schindlers. If you want to have legal advice about cannabis in South Africa, they really are your go-to firm. They've been with us for the last 8 years. And look how young they are. They're all much younger than us. Because they know that if you're arguing against the legal regulation of cannabis in South Africa, you are arguing on the wrong side of the law and the wrong side of history. So this is what we ended up with. We ended up with Dagga on my stroke. And actually, my office Wi-Fi password is Dagga on my stroke. So I can now smoke Dagga on my stroke. But it's kind of not enough. So to give you an idea of the far-reaching thing that is Dagga and Sandu, weed, Zol, there must be at least 55 different names for cannabis across Africa. So whatever you want to call it, it is very, very far-reaching. It is endemic. It is everybody in South Africa knows somebody who either smokes it as a responsible adult or takes it as medicine. There's no way that you are going to take Dagga in South Africa and make it into something that is regulated into boxes. It is never going to happen. So to give you an idea of how far-reaching it is, I'm going to tell you a little bit story about the different types of presentations that we do. So this particular presentation was to a dozen people in somebody's backyard in King Williamstown in the Eastern Cape. This was in 2013, and it really is one of our fondest memories of speaking to people who are affected by the prohibition of cannabis in South Africa. And then, the scariest day of our entire lives, on this huge big stage in the Cape Town City Hall, we did a TEDx presentation. And if you want to know the nitty-gritty about our arrest and what made us do what we do, then you can go and watch our 17-minute TEDx presentation. It's on our YouTube channel. So that was a different type of audience. And then we have Drug Policy Week, because this is not only about cannabis. For us, achieving regulation is about cannabis, but one has to look at the broader picture, because everybody in this room has to admit that there's something about South Africa's drug policy that is not working. Why have we got so much death and destruction, and gangs, and violence, and terrible criminality in South Africa when it comes to drugs? There's just something about the policy that's not working. So Drug Policy Week is held biannually in Cape Town, and we were keynote speakers last year. It was a great honor. We need to change our drug policy in general, not only cannabis. And people say that cannabis is the gateway drug. Well, we say yes, it is the gateway drug to saner drug policy overall. Let's start with cannabis and let's see where that takes us. And then cannabis culture is always close to our heart. Remember that we're stoners, we smoke this every single day. We love other people who also smoke every day. So we have an annual party, and this was this year in April in Johannesburg, 5,000 people who all joined to celebrate this amazing plant. So it goes from the backyard in King Williamstown, you can go to a policy conference, we can go to a big party where everybody's smoking Zol. And here's another big party where everybody's smoking Zol. In August, we were invited to speak at Hempfest in Seattle. The audience was 50,000 people. We were so honored, I just wanted to cry on that stage.
This is the biggest cannabis culture event in the world and has been going for the last 28 years. So those prohibitionists of you in the audience, you're not going to get rid of us anytime soon. And then, of course, we have the most serious of all. Since 2016, we've been traveling overseas as civil society representatives of South Africa at the United Nations. We've been to New York and we've been to Vienna, to the Commission on Narcotic Drugs, to give the case for South African cultivators and traders, because there's not much of a voice when it comes to drug policy at the UN in Africa, because drugs are such a problem in society, particularly in poor societies. Just yesterday I was listening to somebody speaking at the UN on UN TV from Nigeria, and the problems that drug trafficking causes in Nigeria. It's a huge job to try and amend international drug policy, but we can be proud to say that we've made a small contribution from the tip of Africa to actually changing cannabis scheduling at the UN. And next year in March, at the Commission on Narcotic Drugs, we hope that there's going to finally be a decision on actually changing the scheduling of cannabis internationally. And that's going to be a big game changer. So we love actually going to New York and to Vienna, because that is where we meet like-minded people. And that's where we get lots of inspiration and we learn a lot about the work that we do. So that's basically what we do. And now, just to end off, I'm going to tell you about a book that is available on our website, Cannabis and Sustainable Development, that we've collaborated with the international drug policy activists, because that's really what it's all about. It's not about medicine, it's not about hemp, it's not about this, it's about cannabis as a plant for the whole picture of sustainable development. And then another thing that we're busy doing and have been doing for the last 5 years is writing up civil society's plan for the legal regulation of cannabis in South Africa. So now I do have a few of these booklets. Unfortunately, we couldn't bring one for everybody, but both of these are available on our website as a pack. This particular book, we're busy writing the final for it, and we're going to call it the People's Regulations, a full spectrum model for regulations in South Africa. So that is what we're working on really hard at the moment, is to finish this so that at least civil society and cultivators and traders on the so-called black market, unregulated market, have got a voice in the new regulations. The current cannabis market in South Africa, just to end off now, sorry I'm taking too long, if you look here, you'll see that there's an estimated 900,000 cannabis farmers in South Africa. Is SAPRA going to go and visit each one of those 900,000 farmers and ask for a license? I don't think so. This is just an example of one of the infographics that's in our little book. I don't have time to go into it in any detail. And once again, thank you so much for having us ordinary criminals here today. And I'd just like to remind you that what we want in South Africa is not fields of green for medicine, what we want is fields of green for all. Thank you very much.